Welcome to Dependable Flame, where we explore vintage petrol lighters, ashtrays, tobacciana, and other useful mechanisms. Make yourself at home. Today we are going to change out the upper mechanism in this Ronson standard automatic petrol lighter. I'm going to get a little bit ahead of myself here and have to go back and pull out the flint spring here in a second, so plus I veer a little bit off camera with it. But you can see the green hue of corrosion that has taken over that snuffer cap, and there are other spots on the thumb lever where the plating is worn or has begun to corrode with that green tarnish that the leather doesn't seem to be affected by, but it's just dirty and gross. It's I don't know, it reminds me of the piss stained fixtures in bathroom stalls. So we got the fulcrum screw and the snuffer assembly removed. Now we get the plunger or thumb lever off of there, and I'm setting aside parts here as we go along. I had a set that I had planned to replace it with, and I believe that is the thumb lever that I used, is the replacement that I had lined up at first. But I was going to use a different older Ronson snuffer cap that the file wheel would not work with the clutch spring that I had. So I had to call an audible in the middle there. But as we continue to disassemble this lighter, you'll see that it originally had the file wheel and then the clutch spring that rides along the side of it. The typical, what I believe would be the typical Ronson type mechanism. Now I'm going to end up switching it out with a mechanism that has the gears integrated into the side of the snuffer cap. So I always take a toothpick and a household disinfectant wipe and wipe out all the dust, grime, everything that I can. Clear out the area around the top of the flint tube and also the plunger seat. Make sure you don't leave any debris behind that could get into your mechanism. This is about the time that once I got this part clean and I went to reassembling it, that I realized that that older mechanism was not going to work, so I began to disassemble this other donor lighter right here, and I got the mechanism off of it, and then of course get that all clean and ready. Got the toothpick with the disinfectant wipe to the new snuffer, which was pretty dirty. As I said, it has the gears integrated into the side of the snuffer cap there, so you don't even have to worry about fitting those in or holding them into place. It does work with the toothed file wheel and the clutch spring that rides along the side. Get the rest of these parts wiped off, and then we'll go ahead and get this back assembled together. We will start here with our thumb lever and piston spring. Get those seated down in place. Make sure everything's going to fit between those posts like it needs to. Then you will take your snuffer cap, your file wheel, and your clutch spring. You see here the file wheel and the clutch spring engaging together as they're supposed to. The flat part will go up in the mechanism right along the top there and hold it into place. It's really a lot easier to align these and to do it with this kind because you don't have to hold those side gears in place. So whether you have to wrestle it into position or if you're able just to slide it right in, sometimes you can take those posts and separate them a little bit so that it will provide a little bit of room for you to fit that in between there. For this one, it wasn't a problem. It just slid right on in there, and then the fulcrum screw slid on through to the back side like it was supposed to. We get our fulcrum cap, able to thread that down most of the way here just with the side of my thumb, and then we'll put the screwdriver on it and get it tightened down. Won't take just a little bit of effort here. I don't ever put 2 screwdrivers on them to tighten them. So you can see now that the mechanism is moving freely as it is supposed to. I will dig down here in my tin of flints for a Ronson Redskin flint for this Ronson standard lighter. We'll slide that down the tube, then get our flint spring and flint spring screw in behind it. Once you get that screwed in so far, then go ahead and strike the lighter a few times to get your flint grooved and moving in the right direction. It can be tough to get the mechanism striking against the flint if you don't already have that grooved by the time that you get it tightened down all the way. So you can see now that lighter is sparking very well. We'll go ahead and take a little screwdriver here and get the fill screw out of it. I had not done that. I found this lighter in there in a group that I had neglected to see the other day and had not pulled the fill screw until I got ready to, until I was already making this video right here. So get it filled with the fluid. You can see there I have a hell of a time every time keeping that Zippo can from leaking fuel as it is pouring in there. Sometimes it's better than others, but it's always an adventure. Anyway, we'll go ahead and get that full, and then once it appears as though it's held everything that it's going to hold, that it's just standing there, then at that point I know pretty much I've overfilled it. And go ahead and shake out the excess. Get the fill screw or fuel cap back on it. Make sure once you get your fuel cap back in your lighter that you give plenty of opportunity for the fluid that is leaked out to either evaporate, or you blow it out, or use a compressor, your own breath, whatever you got to do to get that fuel vapor out of the area before you go to striking the lighter. So I'm not sure where those snuffers with the integrated gears come from, but that's how you install one on this Ronson Standard. Until next time.